Good evening. My name is Mary Fisher. I am presenting my strategic interpersonal communication plan for HSCO 508. Today is July 5th, 2026. The plan is personal to me because communication is more than just a class assignment or about my career, but it affects how I lead, how I serve, how I listen, and also how I correct. I love my family and those that I have relationship with, and so this is important. This course has helped me understand the difference between being able to articulate. I've always been told that I articulate well or that I was a good communicator, but this helped me understand the difference in a deeper level. Every relationship, communication impacts every person, every relationship. Is more than just being articulate, knowing what to say. Schultz and Brzezinski 2015 explains that communication should be shaped by truth, love, humility, and responsibility. I want to communicate in a way that creates understanding, healing, growth, and connection. Communication, interpersonal communication, it's more than words. It's how we listen. It's listening well. It's emotional present. Communication is caring. When someone feels that we truly are present, they are more likely to feel safe, respected, understood, and open, and become transparent. Schultz and Brzezinski 2025 reminds us that communication should build relationships, and that is one of my goals. I want communication to bring healing, growth, and connection. As a program director with young adults who have experienced trauma, it is important that they feel heard and seen. I've learned that people are more likely to receive truth when they first feel valued. So my goal is not to stop correcting or leading. My goal is to listen first, connect first, and then respond with the wisdom. The goal is to be an intentional communicator, emotionally present listener, before I advise, correct, or hold a young adult accountable, or as I say, holding them accountable to what they say that they want. According to my uniquely you profile, my behavioral blend is SC, and I tend to present as steady, calm, supportive, responsible, and dependable, which makes me a leader, makes people come to me for help and support. So these are strengths: consistency and reliable. I care about doing things well, lead by example, serve with excellence, and follow with humility is my motto. Carbonell 2008 explains that when we understand our personality blends and patterns, it can help us to improve communication and relationship. Knowing my behavioral blend helps me communicate better with those that I'm in relationship with. Now, I do have a D trait. My private blend includes D, and I have a strong, leadership drive. I care deeply about justice, accountability, structure, transformation, and systems. My desire for accountability can sometimes have me focus more on an issue than a person, but because I am empathetic, a person's feelings emotionally, naturally having the ability to feel and be compassionate. I also have a fast-moving brain, or AKA ADHD, which means my brain naturally moves fast. And research by Ganapt 2023 confirms that adults with ADHD may struggle with interpersonal relationships. The brain moves fast. Sometimes you become verbally impulsive. So that means I must be intentional about slowing down and listening intentionally and listening well. One of my barriers is also a trigger. My background has shaped the way I communicate as a mother, a minister, a leader, a survivor, and a human service professional. I've walked through hard places, and I've walked with others in hard places. And those experiences have given me compassion, discernment, as well as strength. However, it also has made me sensitive to dishonesty, unfairness, disrespect, lack of responsibility, and lack of accountability. And so when I see those things, my communication style may be a little less more, I should say, more direct. Proverbs 4:23 reminds us that everything flows from the heart. And so for me, guarding my heart means guarding my reactions, guarding my heart from how I respond when triggered, my assumptions, my tone, and my facial expression. The other barrier is listening to respond instead of listening to understand. Now, there are two ways this can show up. One, I may call on the outside, but inside I may already be preparing an answer, trying to solve a problem. Or when upset or overwhelmed, then what that looks like is flat braining and becoming defensive and no longer listening or hearing what the other person is saying. When I do either of these, I may miss the emotion, I may miss the words, what someone else is trying to say. Behishti 2024 explains that active listening is closely related to empathy because it involves listening and responding in a way that's mutual understanding. I want others to experience me as someone who listens with care, and not just have an answer, but also care. The third barrier when working with the young adult is quickly moving into correction. Accountability is important, especially in leadership. And I guess all three of these barriers can link to active listening. However, correction without connection can cause people to feel judged, dismissed, or defensive. And I've learned that connection does not remove accountability, but it prepares the relationship for accountability. In trust-based relational intervention, we learn that connection before correction. Peterson 2022 teaches that the importance of listening and connecting in communication. Sometimes my fast-moving brain may want to skip through straight to select solutions, but helping professional requires that we give connection. We connect, we communicate before direction. My goal is to become a more empathetic, emotional, present listener before correcting, advising, or holding clients accountable. The goal matters because healthy relationships require emotional safety. People are more likely to receive truth when they feel valued. Kluger and Ishkabov 2022 found that high-quality listening supports psychological safety, and Behishti 2024 connects active listening with empathy, mutual understanding. I do not want to communicate in a way that only focuses on what a client needs to change. I want them to feel heard, respected, and safe. Listening is not weakness. It is definitely wisdom. There are three strategies. The first strategy is active listening. I will listen without interrupting, rushing, or preparing an answer too soon. I will pay attention to not just what the words that are being spoken, but also the emotion. Kluger and Escobar 2022 also found that high-quality listening supports relationship satisfaction and psychological safety. This reminds me that listening is not passive, it is intentional, and it's a skill that I have to continue to practice and develop. Strategy 2, reflecting and clarifying responses. Slow down the conversation. Slow down the conversation. Reflective, what I hear you saying is empathy statements. It sounds like you felt. Peterson 2022 reminds us that communication requires listening and connecting. Kluger and Ishkabal 2022 also show that listening is not going to happen automatically. Listening is not passive, it is a skill. Peterson talker and listening approach is one of the other strategies. It teaches that one person needs to talk while the other listen. It reminds me that when I am in the listener role, I have one job, and that is to listen, understand, and respect. But first, listen. Strategy 3 is the complete opposite of the barrier. The barrier was correcting before connection, but the strategy is connecting before correction. Communicate care before addressing a concern. I want to understand before we talk next. I want to understand what your thoughts are. Honoring feelings even when I'm holding them accountable, and use Peterson's talk listener approach to stay in the listener's role. Peterson 2022. Peterson teaches that one person needs to talk while the other listens. When I'm the listener, just listen. How will I do this? My implementation. To implement this plan, I will pause before responding in difficult conversations. Even a few seconds will help me avoid reacting too quickly, and then using the reflective and clarifying questions. I will be willing to listen during hard conversations instead of rushing to fix a situation. Also, this will also help in regulating also my emotions and maintaining a calm demeanor. I will apply TBRI principles by connecting with clients before correcting them. I will also keep brief a journal so that I can write notes when I'm talking, and when they're talking. That way, if I have something to say, I can write it down and I can wait. And then also it gives me opportunity to talk to them and to listen to them and to reflect and come back even if it's later. I will invite feedback from a trusted person or supervisor who can help me, give me some insight on things that I need to continue to work on. In conclusion, the strategic interpersonal communication plan has helped me understand how my behavioral blend, my background, my strengths, and barriers influence the way I communicate. My steadiness helped me create structure and safety. My leadership drive helps me advocate and hold others accountable. However, I must continue growing empathetic listening, emotional regulation, and connect before correction. Schultz and Basinski 2025 remind me that communication should be shaped by truth, love, and humility and responsibility. James 1:9 also reminds me to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. The New International Bible 2011. My final thought, it is this: people may hear my words, but they will remember how safe they felt in my presence. I want my communication to reflect grace, truth, wisdom, and love.